Alright, we are back for turn 32. Moving along quite well. August 14th turn, 1915. This is the Serbian front, where we're now in pretty much a free-for-all pullback since Bulgaria is in the war at this point. Serbia is down to its last capital at Uskub. The Russians are going to begin a general fallback here in Poland over the next few turns. With Kovno falling in East Prussia, we're going to start pulling back towards Vilna. We're also going to have to start looking towards Riga's defense. With a heavy heart, it looks like Russia's going to have to give up its conquest of Austria. We're going to try and hang on to Krakow for a few more turns. Mainly, we're just trying to stay out of artillery range from the Germans. So it looks like the Austrian defense of the Carpathian passes was finally successful. French are going to try and take Mulhausen one more time. The Germans were weak in this sector and weren't able to properly reinforce Mulhausen. As it turns out, the Germans end up being very fortunate because the French do not have enough action points to actually take the city back, which will give them time to move this unit in to redefend it, keep the French from getting the national morale bonus. Some more heavy fighting here in the Italian Alps. The Austrians are going to have to very soon start looking towards getting some HQ units over here. With the Russians now no longer a threat, they can spare to move some forces over. British are going to make an attempt now on the Mid-Eastern front to make a breakthrough. They have level 1 artillery at this point. You see the British make a pretty nice little hit there. British have drawn first blood against the Ottomans in the Mideast. But you can see the Ottomans still have quite a bit of reinforcements in this sector. Again, over here in Mesopotamia, we're just kind of moving forward, securing bases for the future. We won't be moving forward until Maud arrives in summer 1916. Sub in the North Atlantic has taken a pretty bad beating. While there haven't been a whole lot of sinkings, either subs or destroyers, all these damaged ships do take their toll on both sides' production capacities. Wraps up our replay. See some more of the new army has arrived in Britain. UK is losing some more, particularly in the Mediterranean. Real quickly, with the summer months starting to wrap up, let's just take a quick look at what losses have looked like. For convoys, you can see the British are still holding up pretty well. They have taken a little bit of losses here throughout 1915, but their destroyer actions have been doing pretty good at keeping that relatively low. If you look here, the British, this red line is lost units, the green line is collected income. So the British, for the most part, have been able to have a positive balance. They did have to spend quite a bit here at the end of summer. The French, for the most part, after 1914, where they had heavy losses, have had a real good run, except recently where they've taken some losses trying to take Mulhausen. The Italians have been performing pretty well thus far. The Russians, have been kind of up and down throughout the whole course of the war, but it was balancing out pretty well until recent months. But you can see now the losses that the Russians are taking are really skyrocketing. Germans, for the most part, have collected more income than they've lost throughout the war. A few turns they've been above. Austrians have had a pretty spiky go of it, although that does seem to be leveling out in their favor, but they've had a pretty rough ride. And the Ottomans have been a little bumpy, especially in the last few months as well. So that kind of gives a good rundown of what the overall situation looks like, how money's being allocated out. You can see now Germany has surpassed Russia, total number of land units. Austria and France are equal. The Ottomans and the French and the British are actually pretty close to equal as well on land units. If you look at total number of units lost, the Russians are definitely the highest, followed by the Germans. Everybody else is pretty low. The British show 6 units lost, but most of those are Belgian units. So just kind of a quick overview where we're at. You can see national morale. Germany and Austria are still the lowest, but Russia's going to start falling behind pretty quickly here. The Western powers are going to be sitting pretty nice compared to Germany. That'll be a problem for Germany throughout the war. Stay tuned and we'll see how everything progresses from here.